Welcome, my beautiful souls. I am the Rambling Psychic, your tarot reader and spiritual advisor. And today I come to you with Libra's reading for January 2026. Libra, let me tell you the messages I've received from our guides as I was pre-shuffling. This message, it came through gently, but it's not small. Something you've been weighing finally tips in January, and once it does, there's no going back to that old balance. Stay with me. Spirit is very precise here. And chances are you didn't find this video by accident. So, Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, those intuitively guided, and those in love with the Libra, whatever brought you, welcome. So we are going to break your reading apart this month into love and then money. Very exciting. But it does make it a little longer. So again, your guides are asking you to stick with it. So for love, we will use the Romance Angels, the Gilded Tarot, Clarify and Go Deeper. And deep we go. And the Psychic Tarot for love. And then I have, for money, I have the cards already for you. So, let's go ahead and open your reading. We'll bring the lid down a little bit. Let's open it with Mother Mary. Mother Mary, for her beautiful words, wisdom for Libra, and those intuitively guided. That feels like your card. All right, but I will give it a shuffle to see if anything else wants to come out. This is really the time just to calm your mind. Try to really connect to your intuition. Certainly ask your spirit guides to give you signs of confirmation, whether it be a number, a name, or just a feeling. You should feel this reading. All right. I knew something else wanted to come out. Let's start with the first one. Truth. Truth. I am lovingly honest with myself and others. I am lovingly honest with myself and others. Oh my gosh. How about love in a love reading? Love, I don't even have to, I already know what it says. Love is the answer to all of my questions. You know, I have to tell you something that I've been getting, and I don't even know why. I guess I'm meant to say it. Those who are seeking peace in their life, war is not the way. Love and harmony is the way. It is the way to enlightenment. So, not war with your neighbors, with anyone. Peace and also letting go. So, love, it makes sense, is the answer to all of your questions, but also it's asking for you to be very truthful with yourself at the same time, lovingly. So, we will keep these out. Let's give each one of them a crystal. Love, love, love. Let's get into it. Love. We'll certainly know why Mother Mary brought out those messages, why your guides brought out the messages I received when I was pre-shuffling. I don't know why I'm giving them extra shuffles. Let's give them a cut, though. And by the way, anyone who's new, the reason why I always cut my cards, to me, it's a symbol between my guides and myself that I am ready. That I am ready to be the messenger for Libra. And so it begins. Happy New Year, by the way. Happy New Year. Remember, we are now in the year of the magician. We are the alchemists. Powerful. All right. Cards are a little chaotic, but we'll see why. All right, so we start with the strength card. It's called power here because that's truly what you receive when you're willing to really look within. And that's what the strength card is about. It is finding that inner balance of the light and the shadow. I feel like we have to know our shadow selves. Give it a name. Sandy number two, you know. Um, but the strength card, I mean, you could see where it says power. It truly becomes your courage. Look at this person. Half human, half lion. That's you. Also a number 8, potentially a new beginning. But remember, it's also the number of infinity. I have a feeling, I just have a feeling that, and I feel this is for many, that your higher self has been helping you through a period of time. Your higher self, your higher wisdom. All right. Accelerated motion. Look at that. 88. 88. Some of you may have been born in 88. I love this image because she's wishing upon a star. And there's something she wants to bring about. Because this is also an 8. But I feel like for many of you, you know what it is. Maybe it's something that you've been working on. I also get this sense of, for those who were bold enough in 2025 to use the energy of the hermit, I feel like you've had a lot of self-realizations, but also understanding, like, do I deserve more? I feel like the answer is yes. Doesn't mean you're not happy, because I'm not really getting this sense of like dread um that could have been, but I feel things are changing now. All right, let's keep going. Oh my. All right. Financial and material changes. Then, hello, soulmates. How quickly? How quickly they show in your love reading. And what's interesting is we have 2 8s, and 8s are about a new beginning, but it's also about what feels like the new you. Like like what I feel is like Libra is presenting themselves to the world, and it is like the new, improved version. Hmm. Okay. So again, what I was going to say is we have 2 8s, 2 new beginnings, and then a 5, which is change. So anytime you see a 5, it's asking for some type of change. Sometimes it could be change that we didn't ask for, but nonetheless, it happens. Here, it's talking about in your finances, or in your material world. Some of you could have become single recently. And listen, if that's the case, and if you felt nudged, like this is it, like this is the time, like I've been unsatisfied, I've been unhappy, and you're willing, number one, to look within. You know, when you know yourself in love, and that means the good, the bad, and the ugly, then love becomes, well, I want to say easier, but love is meant, soulmates are really a gentle type of love, unless it's a karmic soulmate. then they're here to teach us something, or we're here to teach them. But I don't feel that. I don't feel that. I feel this is about what's happening after the change. And not only is it the soulmates, but here it's called spiritual union. So could two people, two loves be coming together after a period of time? Um, well, that probably explains it the most. Emotional withdrawal. And by the way, another 8. 888. Some of you may have a life path 8 or it be in a personal year 8. And 8 really is about the material world. And, really no excuse for it. Like a personal year, or a life path 8. They are here to master the material world. Not in an egotistical way, but that is part of their soul's journey. And that's why it's great to know what your life path number is. It can give you so much information about yourself or your personal year. What is your personal year? That's easy to figure out. You just take the day you were born, the month you were born, and you add that to 1, because 2026 is year 1. Brand new slate. So this emotional withdrawal, this is the 8 of Cups. But I really like this image because this is someone who I feel like is ready to let go, ready to come to peace with what was. This person sitting at the water's edge, which I find is a very healing type energy. And literally, I feel like they're just allowing the tides to take their worries away. This is mirroring the Strength card. So whatever it is you had to let go of, I have a feeling in the long run, or maybe the short run, it is going to serve you. Some may have been with someone who you may have given them the title of a soulmate. And I'm not necessarily saying they're not, because we have more than one soulmate. When I think of love as like stepping stones. My first love, the next love. And what did I learn from each one, each relationship? What did I learn? How did I grow? What did I learn about myself? Moving on. Moving on. This is good. Because what are you moving on from? The 5 of Swords. Toxicity. Toxic energy. Whether it be in one's own thought system, because it is swords, or it's a physical moving. Number 1, this is you recognizing what is toxic, who has been toxic, and saying no more. And you're doing it with real clarity. Doesn't mean I know where I'm going to end up. You know what I mean? But I know what I no longer want. I know what's no longer serving me, or what may be coming in between me and my true love. So there's definitely energy of letting go, but there's definitely energy of what wants to come in next. All right. With the Emperor. Dun, 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 dun. Authority. Clarifiers. Boy, every time I see this image, I feel like this is someone protecting you. This can be a father figure. Some of you could have a father that crossed over. It's interesting. I just put a podcast out about grief. And then here I am doing your reading. 4 into 8 twice. I don't even know why I said that, but it is twice. All right. Passion ignited. Heart chakra is being activated. This means you're going to feel something. And then it's up to you whether you take action on it. It's happening after this financial material change. Some of you may have felt called, like you have this feeling. Interesting, both my ears all of a sudden, it feels like I'm in a tunnel. It'd be interesting if someone is driving through a tunnel right now. By the way, this is also A1. Year 1. And look at this. Material and spiritual prosperity. So whatever you may have lost within this financial material changes, if it was even a loss, you're recouping it, which is something I know to be true. Like, and I know people sometimes misunderstand my comment, but, through the many changes I've had in my life, every change I have or every move that I've made, I've eliminated material things and I'm down to like 2 suitcases. And there's really nothing that I'm missing. But anyways, I don't know why I'm talking about that because this is good news. The Emperor. Let's talk about the Emperor for a second because in love, the Emperor is someone we can look up to. The Emperor is someone who has a lot of life experiences. So conversations can be deep. And I feel like you would appreciate that. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's an important component for you communication. But being able to go deep with no apologies. I feel like there's nothing that you can say to the Emperor that would shock him because I feel like I've been there, I've done that. This is someone who remains compassionate and empathetic. Definitely a leader. I mean, honestly, I'm not even thinking about Aries. It can be Aries for some. I'm just thinking about the type of person. And it's interesting because there you are wishing on this star. And if I was going to wish for love, I would want the Emperor. Mainly because, again, this is someone who's lived life. This is someone that you can look up to, even learn from. And vice versa, by the way. It could be someone you end up collaborating with also, which I have to say is something that has followed every reading, almost every reading. Like not just the love portion of it, but also potential collaborating or starting a business together. Something is making your finances change here. Something is making you believe more than ever in spirituality, in your spiritual team. You have 2 6s, and I feel like it's answering the call of these 8s in this 5. All right, well, there's your major arcana balance, and that's exactly what Spirit was talking about in the beginning. So, justice. It is a card of fairness. Just. right? What's right in the world? What's wrong in the world? What's right in your life? What's wrong in your life? This is, I feel like, justice gives us the sword. And I feel like the sword is a gift that we were given before we came into this lifetime. And the sword is the ability to use it in any time. So when things aren't going your way, someone is not playing along, use that sword. Whether you're physically cutting something or someone out of your life or energetically. What does that do for you? It immediately gives you balance. In Libra, you need balance to feel good. You do care about the world. All right, we got two extra ones. I'll take it. The Nine of Cups. How about the Eight of Cups here, right? This is where we're letting go. And the Nine of Cups, here's your inner harmony. But look what it says: fulfillment of wishes. Inner harmony and fulfillment of wishes. And then beautiful recognition and reward. Look at this person. They feel very humbled, very grateful. But they're the one it's you. It's you being recognized. For what? For who you are. This is the Three of Pentacles. And the Three of Pentacles, 9, 10, 11, 12. Three of Pentacles in a love reading is something I always look for. Because to me, that means this is you being comfortable in your own skin. This is you not allowing the voices of yesteryear, those negative tones, to have any effect in your life. This is you being you, unapologetically. But this is you being celebrated for who you are. I get this sense if I've been dealing with anyone who just can't see me. Wow, that could be Spirit's way of nudging you, right? Like, not everything is meant to last forever. But there are some things that are. And I feel like that's why we have the soulmates. But it literally says spiritual union. Fulfillment of wishes. Well, she's wishing upon a star. So that tells me that these wishes are coming true. And why? Because you're being you. You're being you. We have spiritual strength on the bottom, 9. I feel like that represented 2025. Well, it did, 9. But I feel like this is also your spirit guides representing to you that they're always with you. It is literally like they're holding up the roof so the roof doesn't collapse. This is really about reflection, but the type of reflection where you are really looking at how much you have grown, how you have evolved over the years, and being proud of who you are today. This also is a reminder that your spirit guides are always with you. Obstacles and challenges underneath that. I feel like I don't want that anymore. All right, let's bring in the crystal vision and let's go over this right away. Let's go deeper. Deeper, deeper, deeper. Nine of Cups over the Strength card called Power here. That's exactly what it gives you. When you know yourself, then you do have inner harmony. It doesn't matter what's going on around you in the Nine of Cups. It doesn't matter if the whole world is chaotic, which it kind of is. This is you still finding that inner harmony. But again, fulfillment of wishes. Now, could it be feeling both the soulmates? Potentially. You know what I mean? Like the 9 here and the 9 here. Is that for each one of the soulmates? You know, Temperance would tell you that it is important that these soulmates, when they come together, that both their cups be equally filled. We have the Six of Swords. We're getting some mirroring energy already. Over accelerated motion. The Tower. There goes my ears again. I don't know if anybody else is picking up on that, but my ears keep I don't know how to explain it. They're not ringing. They're not closed. It feels like, again, like I'm in a tunnel. So the Tower, over financial and material changes. And then the Seven of Cups, interesting. So right off the bat, that tells me that the ball is put in your court. That this person will reach out to you first. I'm not sure how yet, but I just feel they will. And although we see the Tower, and yeah, it could have caused some disruption. I mean, that's what the Tower does. But in the same breath, it's really what sometimes forces us to move into the next chapter of our lives, especially if this chapter was due. You know what I mean? Like, did we keep reading the same chapter over and over? But now it's time to turn the page. So the Seven of Cups tells me the cup is coming in. You're going to be making a choice. And it's interesting how I said about the Nine of Cups. It doesn't matter what's going on in the world. It's about learning to center your own energy. And the Seven of Cups can be chaotic energy. So something may happen on a day that feels rather chaotic to you. I know this energy. It's just the way that my person reached out to me, and I can remember the day very well. It was actually an evening. And it was weird because I'm a Virgo, and I don't know, I just don't get lonely. But that day, that night, I was feeling lonely, and I picked up the phone and called my ex, and I was just about to invite him over when my call waiting beeped. And I answered it. And some guy starts singing me a song from Bob Seger, Night Moves. I knew immediately that was Sam and I's song. And the only reason I'm saying this is because it happened. It's almost like Spirit was protecting me. Not that the person, the ex, was bad. I'm not saying that. We remain friends. But protecting me from moving back into that. I mean, just the way it happened. And if it happened to me that way, then it can certainly happen to you that way. And it was completely unexpected. Sometimes we think we have to know who, why, when. Spirit's like, no, it's much more exciting than that. It can happen in a time when you least expect it. It does seem like it's happening right after a tower. Now, you may have given that tower. They may have also given a tower, not to you, but to someone else. And so it begins. All right, we have the Ten of Wands over the Eight of Cups. You know, this this tells you that whatever you might have been hanging on to, you know, listen, when we fall in love, we want it to work out, right? We want it to work out. But if it's not the best love, you know what I mean? If it's not something that can stand the test of time, then maybe we do want to close that chapter. This definitely represents, well, what feels like a one-sided type of energy where you took on the responsibility of trying to keep it together. But that's not fair, right? That's not equal. So, in a way, although I know it's not easy, I feel like it's reminding you, like, especially if there's someone that I think that I still want, what I would say is just reflect upon that. Are they loving you the way you deserve to be loved? Is it an equal give and take, or is it one-sided? Doesn't mean that they don't love you, but love takes work, right? There needs to be two involved. Okay, I don't want to harp on what was. We have the Four of Pentacles over the Six of Swords. Some of you may have made a physical move. And then we have the Queen of Pentacles, my little psychic detective. Can be Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn. But you know what I'm going to say next. It most certainly doesn't have to be. So this queen, she is great at picking up those details that other people just seem to skim over. Like, you can't hide much from this queen. And if you're trying to hide something from this queen or king, she'll pick it up. She'll pick it up. But the good thing is, she also picks up the good qualities. So I feel like coming over the Emperor, it is, I call this person my psychic detective, but maybe I should call her intuitive. Because that's what I'm feeling like intuitively. I'm just going to feel, probably immediately, the difference. Because there is difference in love. Again, each one being a stepping stone to your ultimate. That takes time. Some are lucky to find the love of their life in the beginning of their life and go on and live a happy life. But that's not most of us. That is not most of us. And those, it may be their last time on life to reincarnate. There may be, now I've learned everything in this lifetime. I'm going to come and I just want to be happy. I want to experience life in that way. Well, we can all do that without having to die and be reborn. That was a weird way of saying it, but The Hangman. Slow down, you move too fast. Judgment, your spiritual team. How do I love that they're coming under spiritual union? Judgment is when you see them in a reading, they're calling you to the present moment. Judgment speaks about a rebirth. Well, everything about this reading feels like a rebirth. But this is about what's happening now. You know, it's interesting because right before Judgment is the Hangman, like a pause in the action, right? But the Hangman is seeking spiritual wisdom to use on this earthly plane. But look how close their spiritual team is. So I feel like what it's also saying is the days of waiting. You know, I feel like you have a lot to do with this because these eights are about allowing yourself to have a new beginning. The five, the change. Some of you didn't ask for this change. That may be what the tower is. And granted, with the hangman below it, I don't want to repeat it. So your spiritual team is like, listen to me. We'll guide you. We'll give you the wisdom you're seeking. It is important to learn to close chapters so that the new chapter can begin. Stop reading the same old chapter. Turn the page and look at this. Ace of Pentacles. Right over your major arcana. The Ace of Pentacles means that something is coming into your physical world. And we're talking love. Ace of Pentacles is the energy that can truly take root. It can last forever, but it has to be nurtured. It has to be nurtured. But real love, we want to nurture it anyway. But literally, your spiritual team is telling you, this is coming into your physical world. And then the ball is put in your court. You can say no. They can't make you say yes. They may want you to say yes. I hope that you say yes. But nobody can really make you. Ace of Pentacles mirroring that Four of Pentacles. Some of you, you may have wanted to leave, like a situation, a house, but maybe you didn't have the way, the finances. You know, also, I want to say, let's say you're going through a divorce or, you know, in the court system. Well, the Ace of Pentacles over, it's like, hello, you win. And, you know, I don't know if it's like the type of win I really want to celebrate. But then again, you know, I remember when I got divorced, I went out with my girlfriend. Well, they made me. And we saw, my girlfriends took me out and we saw, I can't think of the name of them. And don't judge me, but they were male strippers. Um, I got divorced in 86, 86, 87. And they were a big male group that traveled. Anyway, my girlfriends took me out. And you know what's interesting? Is I got there a little late and everybody else was already drinking and I was sober. And, you know, everything, the show was already going. And we had the first table and I sat down at the table with my friends. And one of the dancers came off the stage, grabbed my hand, and just kind of led me into this room, and it was dark. This is interesting. It was dark, and he didn't put me against the wall. I mean, it wasn't like, how do I say this? It wasn't, well, long story short, he leaned in and he kissed me. And then he walked out of the room. And I remember sitting in, like, not sitting, I was standing in this dark room, like, what the hell was that? But let me tell you something. It made me feel good. You know what I mean? Because of all the people, I don't know. It just made me feel good. And maybe that was its whole purpose. It's weird that I just thought about that. Okay. Nothing happened further than that, but Ace of Swords over the Nine of Cups. This is your truth. Truth by Mother Mary. Look at the beautiful roses growing up. Truth and love. Nothing better. When I can trust you, and there is no doubt in my mind. This, I also feel like, is talking about the type of communication. Because I already felt it was going to be deep. I get the sense that this person is spiritual, no doubt. No doubt. Do they speak in those terms? Well, usually I say no. But here, I feel like it may be your spirituality that you talk about that connects you. You know, and if you've been saying to your guides, I want someone who will appreciate who I am. I don't want to have to wear a mask or a facade. And that's exactly what's showing here. Someone who recognizes your inner soul. Oh my God. How about the marriage card? This is my favorite love card. And it doesn't have to mean marriage, but it is commitment. It is true commitment. Why? Because it's true love. I love how this man is putting this woman upon this white horse, which to me is like a platform. Like, I put you above all others. And I know she'll do the same for him. The white horse, pure. There's nothing to fear in this energy. You can see just by the coloring, there's a lot of passion. By a tree. Wisdom. Wisdom that we carry and the wisdom of our ancestors. Boy, do I feel like the spirit world, when this happens, I feel like they're celebrating right along with you. Almost like, I did it. I did it. I got them together. It wasn't easy, but I did it. It wasn't easy. But now they're listening. They're paying attention to the signs. They're letting go. They're turning the page. Oh, another Bob Seger song. Not only is this true commitment, but literally how you're each celebrating each other's authentic selves. It's mirroring the tower. Boy, I'm telling you, often in a reading, I feel like we go back and we thank that tower. Because without that tower, without these changes, maybe this, let's just put it this way. It wouldn't have been its divine time. Judgment is saying this is divine time. Wow. Okay. I feel like, I don't even want to clarify it deeper because I feel like it just laid out perfectly. So, what we're going to do instead is bring the romance angels in. What I want you to notice, if you would, is the mirroring. Each of you having the Six of Swords, so each of you needed to move on from energy that just wasn't serving any longer. Each of you had the Nine of Cups, inner fulfillment, and then fulfillment of wishes. And I'm just thinking, are there any other synchronicities? Probably. And I feel like, me saying that the ball will be put in your court, I feel like that's what my spiritual team tells me to say all the time. And I feel like the reason why is take a little fear out of the equation because this isn't about fear, right? But if yesterday's energy remains, well, then so does the fear. And your guides understand. They know your heart has been broken. They know that you don't want to repeat that. This doesn't feel like a lesson. This feels like a blessing. I feel like in the Eight of Cups with the Ten of Wands, that brings us back to truth. But your truth. Getting to know you. Where is that song from? I sing it all the time, every time we get this card. As you reveal Ace of Swords, as you reveal your innermost selves to each other, your bond deepens. And I love this image because some of you may have kids. One of the things my ex told me was, you're not going to find love. No one's going to love you. You got two kids. Well, he was wrong. Boy, was he wrong. And I'm saying that, I don't know why I'm saying it, other than what I've learned is to say what I'm thinking because I know it's going to relate to someone. And I feel like some of you, this can talk about mixed families coming together. Don't worry if you have children or if they have children. If you feel, you know, if you feel good with this person, this woman is like enjoying every moment of it. She's got this smile on her face. She likes being wooed. But the daughter is like, you're going to have to get through me to get to my mom. But he knows that. And he will. And he will. He'll love the daughter as his own, just as you would love their children. In this type of relationship, in this type of love, you come as a package deal, that's fine with me. His sword is down. There's no aggression. There's no pushing my agenda. It just feels like deep conversation that truly is going to connect you. I feel like you're going to just be connected, period. But as you move through this, let's just say your conversations are going to give you peace of mind to continue forward. Pay attention to the red flags. The signs are cautioning you. Now, do I feel like that's talking about what's coming in? I don't. Though, we should always pay attention to the red flags, and that is something we have to learn. I've had a million red flags. I've ignored most of them until I learned not to. It's like that initial feeling that you get. You want to trust that. Especially if you feel you have cleared the energy, where you feel like your mind is pretty clear, let's just say. That means that one of the things you have also learned is how to read energy. Someone can walk in a room and you can know more about them without them even open their mouth, just through their energy. Okay. Excuse me. Finances and career. So is this the second time we're seeing this? Financial issues are a factor in your love life right now. So some of you, it could certainly be the case. You know what I mean? I could have been with someone. Maybe we shared our finances, shared a home, that type of thing. And, I'm never going to say it's easy to give it all away. And I'm not even saying to give it all away. But I do feel like do what you need to do to live life so you're happy. And if that means that, yes, I may have to live with less for right now, so be it. You really have to make that decision. But I feel like what your spiritual team is also saying is we understand that it's not easy. We get it. We understand all of it. But we also see the big picture. Whatever I'm losing or I feel like I'm losing, I know that you're going to recoup it. All right. Well, hello, engagement. Your love life is ascending to a higher level of commitment. Well, to me, this is the highest level. And here you have it. Not only do you have it, but the Ace of Wands is right before it. That heart chakra being activated. The communication that takes place. Telling you, it may start with a conversation and then literally come into your physical world. Or it's already going to come into your physical world. And then the conversation, I feel like the conversation is going to be a clue no matter what. Well, as I say that, I also want to say, so will the chemistry. And I'm not talking about what two people look like. I'm talking about the feeling. Again, your intuition. You deserve love. You are lovable. Yes, you are. Oh, and then engagement. I already said that. Your love life is ascending to a higher level of commitment. Will you allow? I hope so. Sometimes we have to let ourselves believe in the unbelievable. Like when I say Sam reaching out, it was 40 years since we had been together, and we were together as teenagers. And, it was a complete surprise that literally changed my life from that moment on. And I'm not talking about myself to, I don't know, build up my ego. Not at all. Um, I want you to believe in miracles. I want you to believe in the unbelievable. I want you to understand that this reading is saying, as you let go, as you believe in yourself again, well, so does the world. And don't regret. Understand that everything is taught. Every situation, we're either the student or the teacher, or both. But I don't feel like this love is about the student or the teacher. I feel like both of them have been through, well, both of them are mirroring each other. So each of them had some type of toxicity. Each had to let go. Things were unfair. But each are finding this inner harmony, no matter what else is happening in the world. And each is having dreams fulfilled. And Mother Mary saying love. Love is the answer to all of my questions. What a love reading. All right. Now, I have to tell you, out of, I don't know, let's just say 80% of the readings for January, love has also followed in the money, which has been very interesting, but that's the case. So we'll see. And with the Emperor here, you know, I often feel the Emperor is a business owner, definitely a leader, right? Has leadership abilities, but so do you. Um, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what follows. And this is why I use different decks, because if the same cards or similar cards come out, but with different decks, which often happen, by the way, that's what I call beautiful synchronicities. All right. We'll use the Gilded Tarot to go deeper, but let's start with the Tarot of Dreams. Give them a shuffle and a cut. Money, 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 money. Okay, well, hello. All right, so let's take them the way they came out. So this is going to go on that. I'm going to start with these. It's like the whole reading came out already. All right, well, all right, 3 of Swords, but it is the first card. And remember, that usually means that's what wants to go. Oh my gosh. Hello, Palace of Pentacles. I mean, can you reach the top? Yes. Top of your field. And it's not even about reaching the top. It's about doing something you love and others appreciating that. Why? Because you're doing it your authentic way. This palace, I often feel like the palace is what the ultimate goal we shoot for. Holy palace. Especially in the money bar. Okay. There's that Ace of Wands. Inspiration. You know what this tells me in money, though? You may receive ideas, epiphanies that come out of nowhere, and then turn into a business. This gives you the inspiration and then asks you for the action. You want to create the Palace of Pentacles? Follow the inspiration of the Ace of Wands. The Knight of Swords. Hangman. Hangman attached to that Three of Swords. Man, does that feel like we allowed, for a time, someone else to control our lives? And what I mean by that is, like, have you been truthful with yourself? Are there dreams and goals that maybe you've always had that for whatever reason you couldn't bring to the front burner? Now it's time. Death card. There is our closing of the chapter, and there is our turning of the page. So the death card means something has come to completion, a door is ready to close. It is the Three of Swords, so let's close it. And then the death card promises you that whenever you close this door, again, chapters, we run in 9-year cycles. So doors are always, there's always going to be a door to close, but then a new door ready to open. Oh my God. Well, how about that? How about the Lovers? How interesting. Death card is like, close the door. The door to what? The Three of Swords. The heartache. What was? I promise you, I will open a new door for you. Okay, I'll do it. I'll trust you. What door are you going to open? One that's going to knock your socks off. The Lovers. The Lovers. By the way, I love this image because they're both naked. They're both being their authentic self. No apologies for it, and none needed. Now, you want to talk about chemistry. I have a feeling once these two come together in this way, it shall be. So it shall be. And I love that they're under the Palace of Pentacles. Now, I have to give you the meaning. The meaning is a head over heart decision. So again, it's putting the ball in your court, right? Also a card of Gemini, by the way. Scorpio and Gemini, side by side. We have the King of Swords. Chances are that's you, male or female. Could be another Libra, Aquarius. It is sitting next to Gemini. But then we have the Ten of Wands over the Knight, or under the Knight of Swords. Let's see if we can get the last card out, and then we'll talk about them. Look at this. The Eight of Pentacles. What do you want to build? What do you want to create in the world? Truly, the world is your oyster. This is about bringing your ideas to life. The Eight of Pentacles tells you, you do not have to know everything. This is about beginning and then learning as you go. You have a lot more wisdom than you probably think. And I feel like it'll just naturally open up. Look at that, mirroring the Death card. Not only do the Lovers follow, but now the Eight of Pentacles. Remember I said in the love reading where I felt like the Emperor could certainly be a business owner? definitely a leader of some sort. Wow. Here is love, also tied to your money. I feel like for a lot of you, your struggles, what you've been through, what you've overcome, may be the exact thing that you now help others. I do have a lot of people who be like, especially in personal readings, like, what is my purpose? I want to know what my purpose is. I can tell you one of our purposes. Or let me put it a different way. This is what I think God wants from us, to take the experiences that were difficult for us, but yet we overcame them, and then to help others who are in the plight that we once were. It is to be loving and to be giving, but it's not asking you to be anybody's fool. And there's no way you'll be anybody's fool at this point. You've learned too much. You've come too far. I could see you taking that prior heartache, wrapping it up in a beautiful present, and presenting it to the world. I feel like nothing is off the table for you. Even the King of Swords, truth, integrity, communication. With the Ace of Wands above him, nothing to fear here. All right, let's see what's on the bottom of the deck. The Queen of Swords. Interesting, we have the Queen and the King of Swords. And by the way, you can see that she at one time had a blindfold on, but now her eyes are wide open. Her sword is lifted, but not really in a defensive mode. But I feel like it's almost like a statement. Like, if I need to use it, just know that I will. Okay. Look at that. Your major arcana right underneath it. All right, let me grab a drink oh, before we talk. It's interesting because somehow I missed your reading and did Scorpio's reading. And I have no clue why. But can I just tell you? I feel like this is your reading's divine timing. This is when you were meant to see it, hear it, and live it. All right. I don't know if I shuffled these, so let's give them a quick shuffle. And again, everything is always pre-shuffled. I do this more for you. I want you to see them being shuffled, just to remove any doubt from your mind. But it's also become like part of my habit in the reading. All right. Let's begin. Let's see where it takes us. I'm noticing the Eight of Pentacles under the Hangman. And again, the Hangman being a pause in the action, but also seeking spiritual wisdom to use on this earthly plane. And some of you, there is something you may have been wanting to bring out to the world. And maybe you did think like, I don't know that if I know enough yet. Trust that you do. And for some of you, this Ten of Wands has been the groundwork that you've been laying. And this may be, again, it's divine timing. I feel like whatever you're working on, whether it's like self-employment, um, a side hustle, or your main thing. I just feel the growth. And it definitely feels like right timing to me. We have the moon over the Three of Swords. Could have been a Pisces or Cancer who broke your heart. Could have been. The moon speaks of uncertainties. It's also very dreamy energy. But coming over the Three of Swords, feels like there's something happening at night. I don't know why I'm picking that up. I feel like something happening in the evening, whether it's you working, and to me that would mean that like you have a main job and then you do something on the side. That may be something that becomes your main thing. If you're willing, if you feel called to it. But I do get the sense of something happening at night. You know, Libra, I know that you are willing to put in whatever work it takes. I also know, well, I know it's not all of you, but I know this from doing personal readings, that many of you enjoy changes. I'm sure some of you fear them, but some of you look at these changes as adventure. And I feel like that's a good thing. Not that I'm judging those who don't, but I am picking that up. Oh my gosh. All right, look at this, the Three of Pentacles again. Now, here, this is asking you, how do I reach the Palace of Pentacles? Be you. Be yourself. Do it your way. Don't try to follow someone else's way. You have what it takes. That's what this is telling you. Not only that, this is the recognition of other people. It's coming over the Palace of Pentacles. Can you reach that palace? Without doubt. As long as you focus on it. But this truly is other people recognizing you for who you are. Hello, lovers. Again. Again. Now, again, it is a head over heart decision. Look how the lovers, not just once, twice, has shown in our reading. And look, I can't remember how close the Ace of Wands was to the soulmates in the love reading, but can I just say, okay, let me just say this. Whether this is someone that I end up collaborating with, or whether this is someone who is going to help inspire me to be the best me. When I think like, I don't know if I should bring that to the world, they would be like, bring it to the world. There's no one who does it like you. They would lift you up. They would inspire you. And you're doing the same for them. This isn't a one-way road here. In my mind's eye, I see some of you online, like I see you in this like softly lit room, and I feel like you're online, and I feel like you're connecting with someone. And I feel like it may be someone who has a similar interest to what you do. Hmm. So some of you are going to meet online. All right. We have the devil, part of Capricorn. Devil speaks of temptations. The devil can certainly be illusionary energy. It is mirroring the Ten of Wands. Coming over also the Knight of Swords. And I have to say, I'm not really feeling, unless this Three of Swords tries to make a repeat appearance. But I don't really feel that. All right, the Eight of Cups again. Some of you could have walked away from your day job, and now that night gig is your main gig. Or maybe you've been questioning that. It's interesting, we get the Eight of Cups, the same place the Eight of Cups came in your love reading. But this Eight of Cups is over the Hangman. Do I stay or do I go? What do you want to do? That's what it feels like. What do you want to do? Eight of Cups, it's a great omen that even in the money sector, you're heading towards inner harmony. That means you're finding your gig. You're finding what you're good at. And even if you work for a company, I feel like it's also the recognition. Some of you may be leaving a company and doing your own thing. But I feel you're ready. Some of you could actually have met at work or will meet. When I say work, it could be like at a physical place I work. But what I'm really feeling is there's more like what you do, I do. I may do it differently than you do it, but each of us do it well. I feel like someone had a conversation. And I know this is not going to be for everyone, but I do feel someone had a conversation with someone, told them like a dream that you had. And I feel like they, I don't want to say talked you into it, but they supported that. And I don't even feel like you were lovers at this point. Again, this is for a small group, but you're out there. I can feel you. So it just feels like someone who gives me the validation. Not that you need another to validate you, but maybe someone, maybe in a way you did. Or let's just say someone trusts in what you're doing. It's like they see the importance of it, or they see how good you'll be at it, or you are at it. Okay, let's keep going. Oh my gosh, I just realized. Oh, look who just followed. First of all, before we move into this, here's that 8 and 8 again. 88. Last time it was on this side. Now it's on this side. Interesting. Oh, got more than one card. All right, so this makes sense. Coming over the death card, the Five of Wands. This is where drama lives. This is that fighting. This is the energy of no one wanting to back down. It is the energy of the ego. And I have to make a choice here. Do I stay and fight? Even if no one will claim ever that I'm right? Is it that important to me to be right? I feel like your team is saying no, it's not that important because you have to look at the source. And because there's so much ego here, getting validation from this energy, like, you don't need it. You don't need it. Say you're giving the death card the change that it's asking for. And then look what happens. And I just say, I hope you notice that the Ace of Wands is over the Lovers. The Lovers is over the Ace of Wands. And look who showed up. The Emperor. There is something going on in love for many where it is not just about our love life. It is like, it's like creating together. Whether we work together or we just support each other. You know, when I see the Emperor, I feel like if anyone is thinking about business ownership, this definitely supports that energy. And it's exactly what I said earlier. It's using one's experiences, everything I've learned along the way, things I have cleared, the strength that I have gained, the knowledge that is now mine. And anything and everything you can do with that energy. You know, I love the Emperor because he's empathetic and compassionate, because he cares about his fellow man and woman, as do you. You know, if any sign cares, it's you. You want things to be fair and just, not just for you, but for the world. This Emperor is meant to be in your life. And this Emperor is meant to inspire you. This goes beyond love. It is love. I shouldn't say it goes beyond love. It makes the love even deeper. You know what I feel? I feel like this is my person, and I am their person. And that is that. Wow. Six of Swords, which is nice because it's coming over the Ten of Wands. So again, the energy of moving on. But for some of you, I feel like it's within the thought system. It's trusting what you now know. And not even looking at the toxicity that you're leaving. You know, you do have to learn to clear that. But then I feel like then I can come back, revisit it, and see it in a different light. I can see it as my growth. Some of you may have wanted to leave a job, and you know, when is the perfect timing? It's really hard to say because I feel like I have to potentially be willing to maybe live with a little less in the beginning but I mean material things, money. But everything else, it's almost like who will care? Because I feel like you're just going to be happy. And whatever you lost because of them, I'm telling you, well, the Palace of Pentacles is really telling you, not only did you recoup it, but it's better than ever. Also, a beautiful energy of working from home and loving every moment of it. Doesn't mean it's not hard work, but it's the type of hard work that brings you true satisfaction. Jeez. The Fool, a new beginning, a leap of faith. On what? On you. You taking a leap of faith. It's coming over the Eight of Pentacles. Truly, what do you want to create? It's coming under the Eight of Cups. Emotional situations no longer hold the power they once held. This is you reclaiming. This is you in action after what feels like a period of stagnation. And everything seems to be behind you. To evaluate, not to evaluate, to lift you up. A new beginning, a new you, a new love. Some of you, a new home, the sun, your illuminator. The sun makes every day feel like a brand new day. You add the Fool to that, wow, unencumbered, freedom. Freedom to be, freedom to create. The sun is your illuminator. If you have an idea and you ask your guides, does this sound good? So this is you receiving. You know. You know what else is interesting? We have the feminine and the masculine mirroring each other. That might be why I was picking up like it felt like nighttime energy when now the sun is out. All is clear. I can see clearly now. The rain is gone. Look what just flipped itself around right in front of us. The Seven of Swords. Thank you very much. You know, in the upright, they call this a thief in the night. This is someone who takes more than their fair share. Why? Because they do. Because they think it's their right. But it's not. It's in reverse. This tells you that you can trust this energy. You can even trust this love. It is coming under the Lovers. And there is no better place to see the reversal of the Seven of Swords than right there. Three of Cups. Rejoice in celebration. That means there's going to be something to celebrate. It is the energy of joy. You know, you add that to the sun, it's like, ah. And even the reversal of the Seven of Swords it feels like there's nothing I need to worry about. And I have a feeling it's been a long time since there was nothing I had to worry about. King of Swords again. And let's see if we can get out the last card. You know what I love about your reading too is I feel like it just came out very clear. Granted, it's very clear for me. Some of you, and I know some people are not going to like when I say this, but it is true. Like when I do personal readings, I always say the first time you watch this reading, you're probably going to listen to it with your human mind, your human thoughts, but then go back and revisit your reading. Then you're going to listen to it with your spiritual ears. Because that's what happens in a personal reading. And that's why I say they're good for a lot. Well, let's just say for 6 months to a year. I don't like to read too far out into the future. I want you to know what's going to happen now, soon, and how to get you ready for it. That's really what spirit does. But anyways, what I was saying is I don't think I've ever done a personal reading where I didn't say that that you will go back and listen to it again. And when you do, you're going to hear messages that you missed the first time. And also, as things start to evolve, I remind them, go back and watch it again. Because I feel like in a personal reading, the messages come out right when you need them. So it's something I always say, keep in your back pocket. Anyway, I have to say, for some of you, this is going to feel like a personal reading. Look at that. The Hermit. Beautiful. Why? Because number one is coming over the Eight of Pentacles. 8, a new beginning. This is the representation of 2025. It tells us what you've been doing, right? Spiritual reflection. But this hermit is sharing his beacon of light outwardly. My wisdom I now share with my fellow man and woman. Everything you have learned along the way. And now you're using it for your benefit. This is beautiful representation of letting 2025 or the last 9-year cycle, let it be, let it go. That's what we were meant to do. Going into 2026 as the Fool. The Fool is not foolish. I mean, if it's reverse, he can be foolish. When I say going as the Fool, I mean just be open to the potential. And remember, the Fool, and we're always the Fool anytime we start something new. And the Fool's first mentor is the Magician, which is the year we're in. The Magician tells the Fool, teaches the Fool, you possess all the tools you need to truly be successful on any journey that you choose. These tools are within. It's your wisdom, it's your power, your courage, your willingness. Wow. I think I'm just going to let this one be. I feel like I just don't feel like it needs any more clarity. I love that the Emperor, and by the way, male or female, business owner or not, but I love that not only was he in your love reading, but now in your money reading. I already knew it. I felt it. But not just that, the two lovers. In each of them having the Ace of Wands. Boy, this sounds like a spiritual setup, like a spiritual blind date. But it feels like it's, well, love is a big component, don't get me wrong. But it feels like it's even beyond that. Like what the two of you can do together, I feel like can truly be mind blowing. Or if you're doing something on your own, you're going to have a very supportive energy person. But you're also supporting them at the same time. This is equal. This is when both cups are equally filled. You know, love shouldn't hold you back. And if someone is trying to hold you back, chances are it's for their own selfish reasons. This is about you. You know, number one, enjoying that the sun is here. Like, goodbye, shadow. Hello, light. All right, I'm going to let that be. I'm going to let it be. I do love that you got the Hermit as the last card. I just don't feel like you could have got anything better, especially connected to the Fool. That wisdom. You're never going to lose it now. That courage. It is your badge. That sword. You know how and when to use it now. These aces of wands. You're understanding that it takes action, right? The inspiration comes first, but then it's action oriented. Look at what you're creating. You know, it's like a new life with a new love. I say new love. Doesn't mean existing relationships, you know, can't be strengthened. Of course they can. If two are doing it together. Boy, do I feel like, and I don't know why I'm talking about love because we're in money, but there is something about the love and the money together. There's something kind of magical here. Okay, I'm going to let that be. Yeah, I just heard in my head that's a perfect place to end it, Sandy. There's something magical here. I love you guys. I thank you. You know, it's interesting because usually if I skipped a reading, I get like a ton of comments like, oh, you missed us, you missed us. And I never intentionally miss a reading. Boy, do I feel like this was your divine timing, Libra. And I couldn't be prouder to be the messenger for you. I love you guys so much. By the way, I forgot. Quick shout out to my nephew Sean, who opens up Libra on September 24th. My gorgeous granddaughter Lily, October 14th. And then my beautiful sister, Sean's mom, who is now with my son, or my son is with her, October 15th. Those are the Libras that I love. But I love you too. So, anyways, I love you guys. Thank you. I'll see you next time at our table. I cannot wait to hear your comments. Cannot wait. I love you. Bye bye.